As someone who has helped over hundreds of players improve one-on-one and tens of thousands through my videos alone, I've come across quite a few VODs where all types of players, regardless of their skill level, make similar mistakes. One of the issues many players seem to make is when they're peeking over ledges. Today, I will demonstrate how to properly peek over the top of buildings, rocks, and other obstacles you may be holding down in Apex Legends. But before I start the video, I want to thank you all for helping me reach 3,000 subscribers. It truly means a lot to me, so here's to 100, then 1,000 more. As for those of you who are new to the channel, we are so close to getting to 10% of you who watch my videos to be actual subscribers, so if you are new here, please consider subscribing. On my VOD review stream, twitch.tv/DistinCtGamer if you were interested, one of the players had the high ground in every advantage possible, but he didn't know how to hold it or peek over the rooftop. I covered how to hold high ground in my last video. There's a card on screen if you're interested in it. So I will be covering how to peek over ledges in this one. This is ultimately what failed him. He went about peeking, shooting, and looking over a rooftop all the wrong way, and we did discuss how he could improve upon it. You may see the mistakes he's making in the background, but he's not using visibility to his advantage, he's overexposing, and he isn't holding his height. Let's talk a bit more about visibility when peeking over a ledge. For the same building our victim was at, you get a feel from this reenactment of how much you can actually see from a rooftop and all of the information you can acquire from it. You don't have to show all of your body, just up to your eyes if you're looking for information only. And if you're going to shoot, you barely have to show more than just below your neck, because the reason for this is due to you quite literally and metaphorically having the upper hand in this scenario. It's all about them angles.
Create some angles between you and your pursuers.
In my poorly drawn diagram that you can see on screen, we have the green guy and we have the red guy. Let's put the green guy on high ground and have him peeking over the ledge. In terms of visibility, he can see everything. If a team is pushing, where that team is pushing from, and other fights in the area. The enemy below him, when peeking correctly, should only be able to see part of his upper body, where the green player can see almost the entire red player's body, giving more surface area to hit, which gives a greater chance of hitting more shots and ultimately killing the enemy. That advice alone is crucial, but if our green guy starts taking too much damage, all he has to do is crouch and back up a few steps, whereas the red player has to find cover or push directly underneath the building to avoid the oncoming onslaught of lead and take more damage by doing so. This also applies to triangular rooftops. Again, we have our green guy and our red guy. We will place the green one on the rooftop and we have the red one under it at a distance away. The green player can show even less of himself while peeking due to the roof having an incline and how the game's visual mechanics work. He can see almost the entire body of the enemy, whereas the red guy can just see below his neck. If I were the red guy, I would not want to push that fight. But if our original victim had the upper hand, why was the enemy team able to push his building and overtake him so easily? For that, we have to talk about exposure. The whole point of peeking over a ledge is to show as little as possible without being seen or making yourself a very hard target to hit. What our victim did in various cases was overexpose on this rooftop. Instead of staying back and shooting while hiding most of his body, he went to the very top of the rooftop, which made him an easy target and extremely vulnerable, as by the time it would take to knock him was short enough that he wouldn't have enough time to actually back down the other side of the rooftop. So what you should take from this is to stay away from the peak or the top point of these surfaces so you aren't overexposing yourself. You will become the primary target to hit as you are very exposed and will most likely be knocked in the time being. Even if you aren't knocked, especially in duos, the other team is going to push you if you're extremely weak. So if you make this mistake, sometimes by the time you heal, the other team will be right on top of you, which is exactly what happened to our victim. So sometimes you have to make the decision to peek again, but properly this time, and get some damage off, as the team will most likely be caught off guard and think you're healing, or you can heal and hope that your teammates suppress the enemies for long enough. The same applies to ledges. Stay away from the very edge of buildings or obstacles, because you risk falling off and having no short journey back up to where you were, and you risk being the first to get knocked and shot at as you are on the edge and will be more exposed when you are on a rooftop to begin with. Another thing to note is that if someone is a distance away and say they're sniping you, you better not be standing still up there. Otherwise, you and a teammate can be knocked in just a few seconds flat if the enemy team has any idea of what they're doing. To counter this, don't stand still and keep away from the edge. Crouch and move left and right, which is pretty much strafing. If you have issues with strafing, I have a basics to strafing guide that will be on screen from the card above if you're interested in that. But if you're going to take anything from this video at all, it should be this. Don't overexpose yourself. Use ledges and rooftops to your advantage by showing less of yourself, as you can get more information and be a harder target to hit. You gain a ton of visibility and information from being up top, so make sure to feed your team this information if they're not seeing it, and don't fall off in the middle of a fight unless it's a tactically executed abandoned ship routine where retaking the rooftop is a better choice than holding it. It is quite rare, but in some instances this does work. Thank you all so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to drop a like, a comment down below with what you'd like me to cover in my next video, and of course if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more awesome videos just like this, because I've been Instant Gamer. I'll see you all next time. Peace.